Love was definitely in the air. Thunder and grace forever. What's up, YouTubers of the world? MegaGeekMixer here to give you guys my review on this week's episode of Black Lightning, and we are now just down one more episode. Next week is the season finale, and I definitely can't wait, especially after this episode. And all I gotta say is, are we ever gonna get a break of all these revelations? Because that's exactly how I was feeling with each and every reveal we got in this week's episode. Two of them that stand out most of all. One was Thunder and Grace itself, but the other was another thing we learned about Gravedigger, and I did not expect that one at all. All I was just saying to myself was, is this for real? Are you joking? This makes the finale even more personal for what it seems, and I'll tell you exactly why here as I break it down. Let's start off with the newly happy Weds, or close to it. That being Thunder and Grace. Yes, in this week's episode, they decided that since they are going to be going to war, they need to tie the knot. And I will admit, when they announced it, I was taken a little back by it, not because I was shocked about it or I didn't expect it, because they showed in a scene with those two alone that it was hinted that that's exactly what Anissa was asking Grace when they were talking together. And man, all I can say is, though, I am super happy for them. But back to my point here is that I was taken aback by it just because of like how sudden it was. And I know Anissa, she's a smart woman, and yeah, it turns out that if it weren't going to war, that yeah, she would do this still, but maybe a little sooner, right? Rather than now. And yeah, I get the point. They're going to war and stuff, and you want to do some things before it all ends. Because there's also another thing I was taken aback by their announcement, is because I was fearing about what this could mean going forward for their relationship. Not as saying that they'll break up, but more like what may happen to Grace. Because here's the thing, when it comes to people going into a big crisis such as Endgame, Infinity War, and all these other crisis events that have happened in superhero shows, is that even though there's a happy moment and it looks like things will be all great in the end once this battle is over, it's in usually stuff like marriage proposals or good family moment times that not all of them are going to come back alive, and I'm worried that that might be Grace. However, though, there was another scene of Anissa and Grace where those two were alone and talking, where Grace was mentioning about how her powers are changing and everything, which makes me believe that maybe she won't die. Maybe she's gonna be okay, and she's just gonna have a new challenge in life, and that'll be a challenge for them as a married couple. But like I said, they're not married yet. They were gonna be married, but then they got the alert that Gravedigger was on the way, so they had to postpone that. But back to my point here, what we learned here is that, Grace's powers are growing to where she is able now to lift up a table with her bare hands. Like, she's super strong, just like her soon-to-be wife Anissa. But the only difference is she doesn't need to breathe. She can actually just lift it up. And this is where I'm thinking that this is gonna introduce her to her Amazonian powers. Because if y'all know in the comics, Grace, her powers is that she's an Amazon and everything. While here, they gave us her having shape-shifting abilities. But it looks like now it's like she will still be a shapeshifter, but her powers are going to evolve to where it unlocks her Amazon powers. At least that's just my take from it. That's my outcome take of it. But either way, I was still happy for him. I've always loved Thunder and Grace together, and I've loved their scenes together. But I also love that when they made the announcement and had that family dinner, we got to at least see another scene of Grace and Black Lightning bonding again, because we didn't really get it that much. I mean, the biggest one ever came was when Black Lightning helped Grace get out of the force field, but basically the perimeter, to be in South Freeland, and she discovered his powers, his identity. But it was still great to see, and it was great to see Grace and Jennifer also have a small conversation. I actually found out that over yesterday that behind the scenes, China and Shantia, they are actually good friends off screen and everything. So it's a shame we haven't really got many screens of those two talking together. Hopefully we'll see that come season 4. But now we need to go into Gravedigger here, who first off, let me just say, I've been really loving Wayne's performance on this guy. He really brings it to the table here. And here's the, or you know what, better yet, let me put it this way. When I first met him on screen, when we were first introduced to his character, I didn't really know what to think because they were deciding to give it a little small walk to revealing to us everything to know about him. But there was but when we got to see him, when the family came to Markovia, I was like, I like this guy, I really do. And now we learned that you gotta sympathize with this guy. But that's not all. What else did we find out this week? We found out something I did not expect, and he is related to Jefferson Pierce Black Lightning. Can anyone say they saw that coming? If anyone says that, I'm gonna have a hard time believing you people, because come on, there's no way any of y'all could have thought that. And even if y'all did, and even let's say if y'all are telling the truth, it's just gonna be really hard for me to believe it. And don't blame me for that, because really, I was just taken aback by that. I could not believe what I saw, or better yet, heard, mind you. Excuse that right there. But still, to find out he's the great uncle of Jefferson Pierce and all, this just, once again, what I said earlier, makes this final battle between those two way more personal than what you might think here. Oh my God. Yeah, and I'm still trying to process it all. I still couldn't believe that. But one thing I will say about this is that Peter Gamby mentioned this earlier, and I do understand what he's saying, but this just proves how complicated the world is and everything. Now, Gravedigger, first off, we know that he's doing all this to stop the U.S. government from doing what they've been doing to all metas. There's just one little flaw in what he's doing. Now, what he's doing isn't exactly right, and it's not exactly wrong. It's kind of like a complicated thing, which I mentioned earlier. Great, sorry, I just repeated something. My bad, guys. Blah. But the point I'm trying to make here is he's going to set the metas free, whether they want to be set free or not, all because he doesn't think it's been right what the world government of the US has been doing. And I can't disagree with him. What the ASA have done, what the government did and everything, yeah, I do understand him. But dude, you're coming out about this saying you're doing this self-righteously, but dude, this doesn't feel self-righteous. This feels more like you getting revenge. This is just your own personal gain. This isn't really for say about the metas, because I feel that, let's say even if you do free them, I don't see you letting them have getting their own lives or making their own decisions. Instead, I see you making them as weapons. And that's why I'm just like Jefferson. Even though, yes, the ASA, the world government, does so much bad things, what Gravedigger's doing, yeah, I can't be on that, and you gotta stop the guy. But I will also admit that when I say sympathetic about him, meaning if you were in his shoes, you probably do the same thing. But also, during the beginning of the episode, he was making a little video diary and stuff, feeling on why he's doing what he's doing is right. And here it kind of revealed some things that you gotta respect the guy for, and it's talking about how he came up with his name, Gravedigger, and he got it from making the graves of all the people, all the soldiers he's fought against, no matter whether they hurt him personally or not, or how he felt about them. That's right there is a soldier's sign of respect to another soldier. And yeah, I gotta respect that guy for that. But as for everything else that happened in this episode, most of them are for like, oh yeah, for one thing, I remember what I said about how even gangsters are helping to take down the ASA. And yeah, that's still kind of true there, but maybe with the way I was saying it, it might have sounded like something different. And I might have even was thinking the same thing to myself, thinking they would not hesitantly join the fight and stopping the ASA and probably even stopping these Markovians. But it turns out that's not really the case here, because Black Lightning and Thunder tried to get Lala's help, but he's like, forget that. And to be honest, though, when it comes to Lala, I can't really say I'm surprised on that end. He's made it pretty clear that, yeah, he only cares about himself, but that's still not to say that he's got a respectful side. I'm not going to say a soft side. He don't have like a soft side or anything, but he does have a side of respect for people, such as Jefferson Pierce back in season 2 when he went to visit him back at that school to talk about somebody he thought Jefferson killed when it was him who killed him. But either way, one thing's for certain is that, like, everything that's going on the gangster side of things, I think that's all setting up for season 4 to where it'll be things, I guess you could say, will be back to normal for Freeland. But might be also a little more challenging because we saw Lady Eve reunite with Odell, and it turns out she's making another business deal on the ASA side of it, or at least with Odell, where she wants her seat back in the thing called the Shadow Board. Now I wonder what that could be. All I can get out of it is that this might be the next main antagonist going forward in season 4. But that's just a guess on my end. There's no telling. Maybe it's something that's not as important, but oh, who am I kidding? It is important. What am I trying to get at here? I'm losing it here. But regardless, this shadow board sounds like it might be a real challenge going forward to how you can stop these gangsters from taking over Freeland again. But with all that said, though, there's still also one other person I gotta talk about, and that's Jennifer and Brandon, but mostly Jennifer. First off, let's just get Brandon out of the way. This kid's really getting on my nerves here. He won't even help the Pierce family out with stopping Gravedigger. All he cares about is revenge. He doesn't care about what happens to the citizens of Freeland. I get that he doesn't know anybody there, but dude, you are being so extremely selfish. I just don't really know what to say with you, dude. And as for Jennifer, well, teenagers, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying like anything as if I didn't know what being a teenager was like, because we all know what being teenagers are like and everything. It's just that for Jennifer, it's like nothing's changed with her ever since, like, what was that, oh yeah, who am I kidding? From the very beginning of the series. A typical teenager, and then next thing you know, all prejudice, and then hot-headed, vulnerable, duh. Oh, this kid, when is she ever gonna learn? You may be strong, but you need to think with your brain here. You may be one of the most powerful metahumans on the Black Lightning team, but that will mean nothing if you don't know how to use your head. Your sister had to learn that the hard way. However, you, on the other hand, decided to learn that in a very more stupid way than what your sister did. By working with TC to try to find Gravedigger and then just go out there and beat him up yourself, thinking that you're strong, you can beat him? Girl, what is wrong with you? Don't get me wrong, I know what you did. Your heart was in the right place. You were doing it for your family, and I do respect that. But girl, this is Gravedigger. This guy's a soldier. And one thing about him is that he's a tactical person, and if you just go in there blindly, you're dead. And that's what nearly happened to that girl, because she didn't know, for one, that he now has Lynn's serum that can make him have multiple powers. The only difference is he can have them indefinitely, almost like he can keep them for a very long period of time before they wear off. And yeah, nearly killed her in the process. Luckily though, her dad fixed her up. And this is where it in the end left off with Jefferson charging up and getting ready to take on Gravedigger. And guys, all I can say is next week needs to get here quick. Let's see what's gonna happen, because there's definitely gonna be some casualties on the Black Lightning team on the. Yeah, or better yet, why do I keep saying that when should be calling them the Outsiders? Maybe it's just because they haven't been called the Outsiders yet. But either case, you guys get my drift here. There's going to be casualties on Freeland and Black Lightning's team. And all I got to say is I'm scared to see who it is, because, well, one of them I think we might know maybe is Henderson. because the actor who plays them's not coming back next season. But then again, they've always made people go out without them dying and stuff. And considering how Henderson hasn't been playing much of a role in the second half of this season, he might not die, but you never know. Because who knows, maybe at the very end of this episode, I mean, at very end of the season finale, he's going to get a big major moment that's make us never going to forget what he did. Not just in that moment, but for Freeland in general. That's just an idea, though. That's just an idea. But definitely, guys, love the episode. Really great. And I just can't wait to see what we get next coming. And well, I guess I got nothing left more to say other than if you're enjoying my videos, all you gotta do is click that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified when I make more videos. And until then, MegaGeekMixer signing out. Bye!